Marvel Rivals has been out for about a week and a half at this point, and it's still going pretty strong. It hasn't been losing players and on Steam at least, and they've announced that they've hit 10 million players across all platforms. I want to take a look at what I believe has led to the successful launch of Marvel Rivals. Now, the fact that they have a successful launch doesn't mean that they are going to stay successful, but at the very least, their launch has been very strong. My name is Mustafa. I am the solo developer of Suburb Path. I have worked at Treyarch in the past. That is me holding that big gun. And I worked at Zwift working on their cycling game. I have a tower defense game on Steam called Nexus Defenders, and I am currently working on Beware Tomorrow, which is slated for release next month. So two games that Marvel Rivals keeps being compared to are Concord and Overwatch. Now, I'm not going to go too much into Overwatch. The first Overwatch game was highly successful, and then Blizzard sabotaged their own success with Overwatch 2 by not delivering things that they've promised and making changes that made the game much worse for the player base. But I want to take a look at Concord and analyze why Concord fails so hard and Marvel Rivals is having a very strong start. I've talked about Concord in multiple videos in the past, and I have explained what I believe has led to its demise. Some people say that the $40 fee for a live service game is the major factor as to why people weren't even trying it out. And the thing is, there are other $40 live service games that are doing really well, like Helldivers 2. Also, Concord had a free open beta. No one played it even when it was free. Some people blame it on the poor marketing. And the thing is, it didn't have poor marketing. It had lots and lots of marketing. It was all over social media. All the major websites were talking about it. IGN, Kotaku, they're all saying that this is going to be the next big thing. And as I mentioned before, it even had a free open beta, but no one was playing it. The thing with the marketing is, even though it was all over social media, is that the game just looked ugly and people just passed it. They didn't click on the ads. They didn't care for it. The color scheme, the aesthetic, the characters, none of it looked appealing enough for people to actually click on the ads. There are people who say that this game failed because it was too woke. And many of them will point at the fact that there are pronouns on the character select screen. The thing is, the reason why I've made the word pronouns in red is because I don't think this led to the failure of the game. I don't like the fact that there's pronouns in the character select screen, but most people didn't even see this. They didn't even get this far. The majority of people didn't even notice that there are pronouns. Now, the stereotypes, on the other hand, I think that is a factor that has led to the demise. Stereotypes that are clearly unappealing. Stereotypes that are negative stereotypes, but that ties into what I really feel like led to the failure of Concord, which is the ugly design. There's bad colors, ugly characters, and many people said that it looked like a knockoff of Guardians of the Galaxy. Wait, this isn't Guardians of the Galaxy? This isn't Concord? Oh, never mind. And I stick by the fact that Concord failed due to the visuals. The visuals are the first thing people see before they even play the game, before they even click on the ads, before they click on the trailer. When they see that thumbnail, or if they see the trailer playing on automatic in the background, that is the first thing that will formulate their opinion, which is the visuals. And I think, yes, the stereotypes had a part to it, but it's mostly all these things: ugly characters, bad colors, and it doesn't look like anything original. It looks like a knockoff of something that's more popular. For Marvel Rivals, as I mentioned, they've hit 10 million players within 72 hours, and according to the Steam charts, it looks like they're still doing really well. They haven't been losing players. Now, some people will argue that the reason why they're so successful is because it's a Marvel game, and I will say that that the IP does not guarantee its success. Do you guys remember this game? Everybody mocked the 2016 Marvel Avengers game because it looked like a knockoff of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Every character looked like they were an off-brand version of the MCU actors. off-brand Chris Evans, off-brand Robert Downey Jr. They all look like off-brand versions of the MCU. So that off-brand look contributed to the failure. Also, as a live service game, which people were not expecting from this developer. They're expecting a straight-up single-player game or a co-op game. And for a live service game, it lacked characters and it had a bad loot system. And if you think this is a one-off case where a Marvel game has failed, let's take a look at another one. So this is Midnight Suns. If you remember this game, this is a tactics game developed by Firaxis, who are well known for their Sid Meier's Civilization games and the Sid Meier's whatever else games that they make that has Sid Meier's names on it, and the XCOM games. So Midnight Suns had tons of marketing and it had this really cool golden and yellow aesthetic. It had all the characters that you want: Wolverine, Spider-Man, Iron Man. Even has Blade, Scarlet Witch, Ghost Rider. It has all the cool characters. You know them all. It has I don't know who this character is. I think she's an original character for this game. I haven't played the game yet, so I really don't know who she is. But overall, you know who all these other people are. The marketing aesthetic looks really cool, but when you look at the actual game, it doesn't keep that same color scheme. The genre game is just very niche. It's not it doesn't have a wide appeal. The Marvel IP has a wide appeal, but this type of gameplay doesn't have a wide appeal. And I'm not saying that tactics games are bad. I love tactics games, but it just doesn't have a wide enough appeal. And this game just didn't sell that well. So why do I think that Marvel Rivals has such a strong launch? I think that the visuals is one factor, and the visuals can be broken up into art style, which art style itself has three different elements. You have your character art, which many people have pointed out has a very anime-inspired look. I think it has, obviously has elements of Overwatch, which many people have pointed out. I also believe it has elements of Street Fighter. Like the characters have big hands, big feet, just over-exaggerated anatomy and proportions, and it just looks pretty cool. It looks like a hybrid between anime and Western comics art styles. Other than the character art, you have these cinematic scenes, which are, I believe, are 3D rendered, but they're stylized to look 2D, and they just look really cool. And then you have the gameplay art, which looks very similar to Overwatch, but it also has its own flavor. It looks pretty cool. Alongside the art style, when we talk about visuals, we got the characters. They're all unlocked from the get-go. You don't have to grind to unlock any of the characters, which that itself is an appeal. So let's take a look at the characters real quick. One thing that really helped them is that the vast majority of these characters are recognizable characters. Like, for example, you have the Steve Rogers Captain America. You have Bruce Banner Hulk. You have Tony Stark Iron Man. You have male Loki as well as male Thor. You have Punisher that has the skull on his shirt. Peter Parker Spider-Man, male Hawkeye, and male Black Panther. The majority of these characters are characters that you recognize, not the new versions. Though they did do that with Iron Fist. I am not familiar with this Chinese Iron Fist. I am familiar with Danny Rand Iron Fist, the blonde guy, but not this version of Iron Fist. I've honestly never heard of this guy before. Also, this version of Namor just looks weird with the blonde hair. And honestly, when I first saw this design for Psylocke, without knowing that it was Psylocke, I had no idea who this character is. This doesn't resemble Psylocke at all. It looks more like a Naruto character. Like the only elements of her that looks like Psylocke are the purple hair, and also these knee pads resemble the blue stockings that she wore in her classic outfit. But other than that, this just doesn't look like Psylocke to me. I have to complain about Wolverine. This barely resembles Wolverine. First of all, the anatomy is just the exaggerated anatomy just makes it look very awkward for him because of how huge his hands are. In fact, when I had him on my screen and my 4-year-old son walked in, he asked me, "Why does that man have big hands?" And I just had to explain to him he's really strong. And then he was like, "Oh," and then he asked me, "Is he as strong like the Hulk?" Like, no, he's not as strong as the Hulk. Oh, okay. The design that they use for his hair reminds me of Ultimate X-Men Wolverine. For that iteration of Wolverine, they tried to make him look more like Hugh Jackman in the original movies. Feel like Wolverine needs to be short. He also needs to look old. He needs to look like he's like in his late 40s or 50s. Yes, I know the guy is like supposed to be over 100 years old, but visually he's supposed to look over the hill. This does not look like that. This looks like maybe late 20s, early 30s. This looks too young. But I'm pretty sure they will eventually sell an outfit or put in a loot crate an outfit that looks more like the classic design that people actually want to play as. There's a vocal minority of people who are complaining that the characters look the female characters look overly sexualized. I don't think that these are the worst cases of sexualized women. I do think like a couple of them do look sexualized, but they're not hyper sexualized like Stellar Blade or Dead or Alive. I do like a Scarlet Witch's design. I think it looks much better than her classic design, which is basically a swimsuit and a cape. I've mentioned before that I'm Muslim and I don't promote sexualized women, and I personally think this is a good. I personally think this is a good middle ground where she still looks attractive, but yet not hypersexualized. But overall, these character designs are very cool looking. These are definitely versions of these characters that people want to play as. The final factor to what is leading to the successful launch of this game is the fact that this game has good gameplay. Yes, there are people who are saying this is just a clone of Overwatch, but the thing is, Overwatch 2 is not even a good version of Overwatch right now. So if Marvel Rivals is a competent version of Overwatch and Overwatch 2 is not even a good version of Overwatch, that gives an opportunity for Marvel Rivals to scratch that itch for people who are looking for an Overwatch style game. Visuals is what's attracted people to the game, and once people get their foot in the door, the gameplay is what keeps them there. So overall, I don't know if this game will stay successful or not. So far, it's doing really well. If a game studio can bring a good game to the market, then competition is a great thing. It forces game studios to try to bring something better to the market. Now, if you made it this far into the video, I'd really appreciate it if you check out Beware Tomorrow. Add it to your Steam wish list. As I said before, I'm still developing the game, and it's slated for a release in next month. It is a first-person horror game with a focus on puzzles and stealth. Also, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and also leave a comment below. Are you playing Marvel Rivals? What do you think? How does it compare to Overwatch? How does it compare to Concord? Oh, wait, never mind. See you later. Salam.